Welcome to lecture on generating frequency tables and histograms using the analysis toolpack in Microsoft Excel. The procedure for using an analysis tool to generating a frequency table and a histogram is as follows. Step 1. Start the Microsoft Excel window by double-clicking the Microsoft Excel icon on your desktop or in the Program Manager. Step 2. Enter the data you want to use into a column on the Microsoft Excel worksheet. Also, enter the bin, that is the class boundaries you want to use, into another column. Step 3. Click on the Data button in the menu bar and choose Data Analysis command on the Tools menu. Then, Analysis toolbox will appear. Select Histogram and click OK. Then, Histogram toolbox will appear. Step 4. Specify the input range, bin range, and output range. Also, specify any of the following options you want: Pareto output, cumulative percentage output, and chart output. Then click OK. A frequency table and a bar chart will appear. Step 5. Select the chart and click on the Format button on the menu bar. Select the bars in the chart and click on the Format selection. Then a Format Data Series box will appear. Step 6. In the Format Data Series box, do the following settings. Set gap width at 0. Click on the Shape Fill option and select No Fill or any color of your choice. Click on the Border Color option. Select Solid Line and Black color or any other color of your choice to make the shape outline visible. Then close the Format Data Series box. Step 7. Rename the bin on the histogram as variable name. You may convert the bins to interval by inserting lower boundaries to each bin value. Note that the upper boundary of one interval is the lower boundary of the next interval. Enlarge the histogram to a suitable size. Practical 2. The following data are marks of 80 students in a statistics examination. These are the first 10 marks, the second 10 marks, this is the next 10 marks, 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 and finally these 10 marks. There are 80 of them in all. Use Microsoft Excel toolpack to generate the following: A. Frequency table and a histogram. B. Pareto frequency and a sorted histogram. C. Cumulative percentage frequency and OGIF. Solution. First, let us determine the class boundaries that we want to use. To do that, we have to determine the lowest mark and the highest mark in the set of data. In our set of data, the lowest mark is 30 and the highest mark is 83. So we set out class boundaries at equal distance so that no observation falls on a boundary. For example, using equal distance of 10 and starting point of 20.5, we obtain the following class boundaries: 20.5 to 30.5 to 40.5 to 50.5 to 60.5 to 70.5 to 80.5 and finally to 90.5. We note that the starting point must be less than the lowest mark. Our starting point here is 20.5, which is less than the lowest mark, which is 33. And the terminal point must be greater than the highest mark. The terminal point here is 90.5, which is greater than 83, the highest mark. Let us now follow our outline of procedure step by step. Step 1. To start the Microsoft Excel window, click on the Start button. Here is the Start button, so we click on it. In the Program Manager that pops up, double-click on the Microsoft Excel icon. This is the Microsoft Excel icon. We double-click on it. What you see here is Sheet 1 in Book 1 of Microsoft Excel window. Step 2. Enter the data in column A, that is in cells A1 to A80, since there are 80 observations, and bin in column B, that is in cells B1 to B8. There are 8 boundaries. Here are our data. So we have our data in column A and the bin in column B. If you scroll down column A, you will see that we have entered all the 80 observations. This is cell A80 and the observation there is 51. Step 3. Click on the Data button on the menu bar, then Data Analysis command on the Tools menu, and select Histogram tool. Here is the Data button, so we click on it. Then we click on Data Analysis command. Here is the Analysis toolbox, so we select Histogram here, and then click OK. Step 4. In the Histogram toolbox that appears, first specify the input range, that is A1 to A80 in the input range box. This is the input range box. In this box, we will type A1 colon A80. Next, specify the bin range, that's B1 to B8 in the bin range box. This is the bin range box, so we type B1 here colon B8. Also specify the output range in the output range box. Here we choose to save our output in a new worksheet, in particular worksheet 2. So we type sheet 2 in the box. This is a new worksheet box. We type sheet 2 there. Finally, select the output of interest. Our first output of interest here is chart output. So let us select chart output and then click OK. As you can see, the frequency table and the chart appears in sheet 2. Here is sheet 2. This is the frequency table and this is the chart. Actually, the chart displayed here is not a histogram but a bar chart. Note the difference between the two. In a bar chart, bars are separated by gaps, while in a histogram there are no gaps between the bars. So to obtain a histogram, we need to do some formatting as follows. Select the chart and click on the format button on the menu bar. Here is the chart, so we select it, and here is the format button, so we click on that. Then select the bars in the chart and click on the format selection command. Here are the bars, so we select this and then click on the format selection. This is the format selection. In the input format data series box that appears, we do the following. First, reduce the gap width to 0. Here is the gap width, so we reduce this to 0. In the fill option, select no fill. That's, here is the fill option. We click on it and then we select no fill. In the border color option, select solid line and any color of your choice. Here we decide to select black for the bars to be visible. This is the border color option, so we click on that. Then we select solid line and then we choose our color here. We are choosing black. So we can then close the box. Let us enlarge our histogram to a suitable size. We expand it this way and also this way. That looks nice, isn't it? Let us rename the bin in the chart as a variable name. Our variable name here is mark. That's the mark scored by student. So let us rename this bin as mark. Erase this and then type mark. If you want, insert the lower boundary in the class interval as follows. Here we insert the lower boundary as 10.5, and that in the second class the lower boundary is 20.5. The third class the lower boundary is 30.5. The fourth class the lower boundary is 40.5. The fifth class the lower boundary is 50.5. The sixth class the lower boundary is 60.5. The seventh class the lower boundary is 70.5. And the last class the lower boundary is 80.5. If you also want, you can remove the legend as follows. This is the legend. So if you want to remove the legend, you click on the chart and then you come to the layout, then click on the legend here and select none. You can see that legend disappears. Now let us repeat the procedure starting from step 4. Our interest now is on Pareto output, that is sorted frequency table and sorted histogram. So let us return to sheet 1 where we have our original data. As before, we click on the data, then data analysis command, and then we select histogram, click OK. In the histogram box, our interest now is on Pareto output, which is the sorted frequency table and the sorted histogram. So here we are now going to select Pareto and chart output. We now want our output to be in sheet 3. Since we have already saved something in sheet 2, so we change sheet 2 to sheet 3. We can then click OK. Sorted frequency table and sorted bar chart appears as shown in sheet 3. We can then do some formatting to obtain the required result. That is, click on the chart, go to format, then select the bars in the chart, go to format selection, reduce the gap width to 0, click on the fill option and then select no fill. Click on the border color option, select solid line and then black color, then close. If you want to remove the legend, click on the layout, then legend and select none. The legend disappears. Let us now enlarge our histogram by expanding it this way and this way. Also, you may want to change the bin to the variable name mark. What you now have here is a Pareto histogram. Again, let us repeat the procedure starting from step 4. We return to sheet 1 where we have our original data. Click on data, then data analysis, select histogram and click OK. In the histogram box that appears, our interest now is on cumulative percentage output. That's cumulative percentage frequency and OGIF. So we now select cumulative percentage, remove Pareto, allow chart output to stand. Let us now put our output in sheet 4. Since sheet 2 and sheet 3 are already occupied, we can then click OK. The cumulative frequency table is here. The cumulative percentage chart, which is the OGIF, is shown in red color here, is superimposed on the bar chart. Again, we can do the following formatting by clicking on the format and then select the bars, click on format selection, reduce the gap to 0, click on fill option, select no fill, click on border color option, select solid line and then black color, close the box, expand, enlarge the diagram by expanding this way and also this way. You may want to change the bin to the variable name. So what you have here is the required cumulative percentage curve called the OGIF, which is superimposed on the histogram. We have come to the end of practical 2. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Keep on viewing our lectures. You will be happy you did.